Hey, yo, what's up? You know who it is. It's the one and the only Professor L live in the LAB, live on Team GRF TV. And I'd like to welcome you guys to a happy holiday installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. Get y'all asses up in this lab NOW because we got us a doozy. And come on, y'all. Y'all know the drill. Get them lab coats. Make sure they nice and spiffy. You always want to be your best no matter what day it is. Make sure that you're nice and sterile and stay away from the L experiments. We still dealing with the lawsuit. But yo, this right here, this a doozy. I need y'all eyes directly, and I mean directly on the board because, yo, coming right up, build episode 16, the weaponry hero. It's episodes like these, man. It's episodes like these that I love, and I know I say that a lot, and I love all my episodes. I love when shows do things, but I appreciated what this episode did, and you want to know what that is? I love pick yourself off, dust your shoulders off, resolve episodes. Because given all of the knowledge that was dropped in this episode, everything that happened, everything that was pushed forward, you need your hero with some resolve. You need his squad mates with some resolve. You need the people who you dealing with on the other side of the bar to be like, yo, we going to Wizard. It's like everything is going dumb. And now the games have begun. But before we get into the games, let's talk about the more serious side of this episode. We ended our episode in a weird state. If you're Sento Kiryu anyway. Because you learn the truth about yourself. You are Katsuragi Taki. That's who you are. You are not Taro Sato. No. You are who you are. And now, Sento spent the whole episode facing that. And you get to the point where you ultimately understand because it's an episode of Resolve and it wasn't an episode of Resolve, then the hero would be that and he got his action. But, regardless of that, going through, like, the build up to this point, that's what I love most about this episode, because it'd have been one thing the show would have just left it out there and been like, well, you're free to, infer. No, let's sit up here and show you Soichi Isarugi's every last playbook play and show you exactly how it went down. Play by play, bit by bit, like you got Bob Costas or Marv Albert calling a basketball game. That's how dumb this was. Well, I don't want to be a bad guy anymore. We're doing wrong things. I'm cool. Nah, bruh. No. No, we gonna do the work. And you gonna continue to do this work. And if you don't want to do the work, I'm Soichi Ikarugi, bitch. I'll make you do this work, partner. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Then this dude gonna come in the room. I'm gonna stab him to death. Then I'm going to take you, mask your face, make you somebody else, and then I'm going to blame this boxer dude for your fake murder. So, hey, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm Soichi Isarugi. I can do this. I'll wipe your mind. I'll make you think what I want. Oh, yo, it's raining. Yo, let me go get an umbrella. Hey, yo, what's up, little man? How you doing? You remember who you are, boy? No, I don't remember who I am. Come with me. I will make you great. I turn you into a Kamen Rider. You ain't nothing but my puppet to purify all these pure bottles because my mind's been warped because I went to Mars. Speaking of that, because this is a perfect segue. My boy Gentoku, a.k.a. the leader of the Gray Squad. I'm like, yo. I'm like, my boy Bloodstalk. You know that boy we finna talk about, young OG Aizen, a.k.a. Soichi Isarugi. Like, yo, I need this to go down. He sat up here, dog. He put OG Gray Squad and on nap permanently. He said, like, man. And then dude ran in there like, yo, hey, yo, fam. Hey, yo, daddy fainted again. You see him in that room talking to the Saito and the Hokuto folks like, alright. What up, family? Hey, let's be for real, right? Like, I got the box, right? And we not gonna sit up here and we not gonna stunt about what this is or what you think this is about. We're not. Let's just cut the BS. Let's just cut the pretentious. Look, in a long time ago, in a magical land far, far away, some dude who's sitting up here running the show brought a box down to Earth. And that box sat up here and showed us who it is that we really want to be. You want to know what y'all want to be? Y'all want to be warmongers. Y'all want to start a war. You want to wipe everything out. And you want to stand above all others with all the bodies you'll stack up in this war, because that's what you really desire. I'm just sitting up here and I'm just being honest. I'm like, yo, real talk. Real talk. Like, I'm just telling you that, you know what I'm saying? That if what you want to do, and I'm serious about this, if what y'all want to do is a war, hey, yo, I'm like, yo, if you want that beef, I'll bring you 10 cows. If that's what you want. If you want beef, I will bring you the cows. I'll bring you some chickens. I'll bring you anything that lays something that you can turn into something. We gonna do it. You milk the cow, kill it, turn it into a burger. I don't care. If you want this beef, then we got this war. What y'all gonna do? And they sit up here and they just sit up here and leave. Which leads into what happens later. It's like, ultimately, again, is that when Sento finally gets his resolve back after getting his ass whooped, after everything that happened, all the Banjo Ryuga pep talks and all of that, you get your resolve back. But yo, them boys from Hokuto ain't playing, boy. They ain't playing, boy. You think we playing, boy? No, no, no. They sat up here. This lady sitting up here looking like Che Guevara and shit. I'm like, what? You got this Japanese lady looking like Che Guevara, bro. And I'm sitting up here like, huh? She sat up here pointing fingers. It's time to go to war, bitch. Sit up here, sit they squad. You got them boys, I like to call them, because I found out what their names were. I'm calling them the Wings of Hokuto. And then they got their leader, that boy Kamen Rider Grease, who we saw at the end of this joint. You know what I mean? Like, it's going down. Like, it is indeedly and duly going down. I'm just letting you know. Before we get into this other thing I want to talk about, I really want to talk about, like, a little small part in this episode that, before we get into the dumb stuff and clowning and stuff like that, is swimming pools. My girl Masora. It was some point in this episode when that boy Gentoku from the Gray Squad was talking, Masora heard everything. And I'm glad she did. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm not sympathetic to a character, but if Masora gonna be in the mix, she need to understand who she dealing with. Your daddy went to space, came back, and he ain't your daddy no more. He ain't the dude that you loved, and you sat up here and you've been purified because your daddy don't care, because his only desire is to drive everybody to war, for them to kill themselves, for me to reign supremely over you. You really don't think that Soichi Ishirugi's playing? If you think something different, then you lying to yourself. This is indeedly what the game is right now. One truth. You can call it the Conan Edogawa defense. That's what you choose, man. I ain't watched Case Closed in years. But regardless of that, everything that boy Gentoku said in that room, it's the driving force of this show. A box showed us our desires, gave us the ability to grab our desires and rip them. And now, it's a war. There's going to be bodies. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, a lot of tears cried. But somebody has got to rule over the others. And it's like, this is the show we watch, right? Let's just keep it 1,000. You know the end result. Like, no matter what it's going to be what it's going to be, right? It's going to be what it's going to be for real. But you have to sit up here and you have to really think about this on a real scale, because this is the part I want to really get to. I want to, like, even though this episode was off the chain, everything happened, Sento resolved, wars getting started, Kamen Rider Grease, the Wings of Hokuto, all this, I wanted to, for some happy holiday cheer, insert some real talk into this. And here's that real talk from the one and the only. At the end of the day, and at the beginning of it, and in between or whatever, we are who we are. And I know I've said this a lot of times on video, because I say this a lot of times to people that I care about, to remind them what it is. It ain't what you do when something happened to you. It's how after you get over it, how you deal with it. And this episode was that. Because you have a character who has been rocked to his extreme core. You thought you were this? No. You thought you were this? Nah. You thought you were this? I'm definitely not. But this is exactly who you are. Let me spell it out for you. This is you. But Ryuga said it best. Even through all of that, that wasn't Takumi Katsuragi. That wasn't Toro Sato. That was Sento Kiryu who did that. You picked up the build driver. You made Kamen Rider build the hero that he is. They didn't do that. The events that get you to point B are fine. It's how you get to point C that matters. And right now, we are in a situation with a character who's trying to get to point C the best way he can with his head rocked. You really think that because he picked up his resolve and that he's sitting up here whooping ass doing what that boy Sento Kiryu does, you think this is over? No, it's not. Forever knowing who it is that you are, that you think you are, how you may be divided and all that, these are going to be the traits and the not so perfect part of Sento Kiryu that, as people who watch this show, is something that you need to focus on, because you really need to see how this is going to change this character. Because you can't walk that back. It's like the show's not going to walk it back, but in a real life situation, sometimes we do things we cannot walk back. Everything Soichi Itsurugi did to fuel his own desires, the people he hurt, the things he threw away, all that, that's not stuff you can walk back. You can sit up here, you could acknowledge both the good and the bad, because in your own haste to sit up here and create what it is that your idea is, your ideals or whatever, in that you created 2 heroes, 3 if you want to count Masora, because she a hero too. Is that sometimes even in that, and this is more real talk, sometimes we can be the authors of our own demise by not even knowing what it is we're doing. And I'm not sitting up here saying that because that boy Bloodstar aka Soichi Itsurugi wasn't sitting up here thinking like this was going to be a thing or this was going to happen. No, none of that. What I'm saying is sometimes our actions have unintended consequences. And I'm not saying that Kamen Rider Build and Cross Z Dragon are things that fall into that. But in the instance of where he's trying to look at this war that he's trying to start to be the last man standing, it kind of is. Because, see, you thought you had the problem under control, so you created one problem. So in order to solve your one problem, you sit up here and convince some psycho lady looking like Che Guevara to start a war. So now you've created 2 more. And in that, you got Gentoku doing the same thing. Is that everybody got a plan this. We ain't seen Japanese Big Worm this episode, and I'm completely, utterly surprised. But I think at this point, the story's moved past him. I will see him, but I don't think it's as important as you got Kamen Rider Grease, the Wings of Hokuto, they destroying everything. And now, regardless, you are now tasked with Japan's peace. That this done went from small ball to the World Series. That's how big, and I mean how big, this situation has become. You got to do something about this. What do you do? As the hero, of course you know what you're going to do. But it's going to be interesting to see this show get to point C of what happens. Because, yeah, we got 2 powers in play. What's going to be number 3? What is it? And I mean this. What is it that that boy say? What them boys over in Sato gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it them boys in Sato? Because it's like, yo, you got them Hokuto, you got them Hokuto boys. You got them Toto, you got the Toto squad. And now you got Hokuto like, yo, I got my Che Guevara hat. Let's play war now. What's gonna happen? I talked about the beginning of the episode, but let's just quickly, just because it's on my mind, let's re-talk about it. Let me remind you, war ain't pretty. Gitoku declared it. You got Soichi fanning the flames. And now it's on. You thought it was on? No, it's on. It's on like a pot of neck bones to the break of dawn. Name your it's on, whatever. But it's on. You can't walk. We finna declare war. You can't walk that. Yo, we cracked a hole in the sky wall, bruh. No, we can't walk that back. Oh, excuse me. You can't walk that back in any way. There is no way that that's getting walked back. So don't even ask. The game is what the game is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But now, in this show, we got a lot. And I mean a whole lot to really now digest. Because now, the war finna start going on fronts now. But see, you really got to wonder and you really got to question that. If this is the show and where it's going to take it is that, how is this going to flow into the common cause? Because if this is how they're going with it, somebody gonna lose their marbles. I'm like, well, when you sat up here and your thoughts and emotion built a wall that divided the world in three, well, this country, well, this world that we're in the country that it takes place in, you know what I'm saying, is the power of desire. The true, nasty, ugly power of desire. I'm not saying desire is a bad thing, but in this instance, desire divided a country. Desire made a lady declare war and send her Kamen Rider and her homies. That's war. That's desire. To be number one. Hell, in this instance, this war, the only one standing when it's over. You've really got to wonder, like I said a couple of seconds ago, how is this going to flow into your ultimate bad guy? Because see, now that's what I want to know. I don't want it spoiled for me, but it should be interesting to see that this is the turn. Is that the last couple of episodes eased into this turn. The last 3 minutes of this episode was the turn being completely taken, no signal, doing it while speeding. That's how crazy the turn was. So now you've got another Kamen Rider out here, 3 dudes who can turn themselves into smashes at will. This is a problem. A real problem. It's going to get solved because that's just how the show works. I'm just interested to see how this problem is going to be solved. The thing is, and this is for real though, is what's next for this show? Real talk, like, what's next? It's like, I'm like, for real, me and Ryan Bond, we, like I said this last week, we talked about it just like, and as a little smaller back and forth of, like, where can this show go? That's the question that's up for debate right now. Where can this show go? I'm like, this show, if it can hold it together, because see, we only this far in. Can this show, through everything, can this show hold it together? Because now, it's like, when I think about it, and I've said this more than once. Again, we 16 episodes in, right? I think about Gaim, and it's like, lately Gaim is the example I use because, yo, that show took a hard right that nobody was expecting. I watched that with a group of people. We discussed it every week. Nobody saw that this is what the show was ultimately gonna become. Like, the show didn't even hint towards it. Like, you thought it was gonna be breakdancing and fruits. Nah, you're fighting to be God. So yeah, that's a thing. So I'm like, to quote something that I enjoy very much. Certainly, they existed. Those bound. I forget how exactly how it goes. It's the first opening to G.O.D, Mark of the Wolves. There are no winners or losers here. For here, you know what? We googling that. We okay, because I got YouTube up in the tab. Like, we doing this. We doing this. I'm like, I would go turn on my PS4, but I don't feel like going in another room. So don't get mad at me, internet. Don't do that. Don't get mad at your boy. Certainly they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Though they certainly existed. Those blinded by ambition. Certainly they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Those consumed with vengeance. But here they do not exist. Only winners and losers here. For here the mighty rule. Doom doom da doom 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 doom. Garo, mock of the wolves, or something to that degree. But yeah, I'm like that is what the state of this show is. It reminds me of an opening to one of my favorite video games of all time. Because certainly they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Like, this is where we are. This is what Pandora's box has done to people. Pandora's box turned an ordinary man going to Mars into an Eisen-level psycho. You got people being blinded by this box who ready to declare war over it. Who ready to kill anybody, everybody in their way to get it. And in the midst of all this, two heroes. No idea what side of the fence they gonna stand on, nothing. That still within all of this is that Banjo may have picked up Sento, but Banjo mad. He had to sit up here and fight alongside a man who is, through a web of, technically responsible for your girlfriend dying. The girl you were gonna marry, spend the rest of your life with, blah blah blah. Oh, excuse me, I feel like something in my throat. I need to get something to drink, but regardless of that, this was a wonderful episode. I love how this episode laid everything out. Like, everything you wanted to know about how we got to this point, this episode will do it for you. Like, you would think that this could be an opening episode, but you don't want that. You want an episode like this early on, like in the first third of your series, because you want to build this up enough for this stuff to mean something, for this stuff to matter. And indeed it does. And all I can do is commend this show for doing better than best and keep doing what he's doing by entertaining all of us. But y'all go ahead and get up out of here, man. Class is dismissed. I'm like, this was a wonderful, great episode. I know I went on some tangents here and there, but sometimes you just got to get on the mic and say what you got to say. And I'm glad that, and I've said this lately, and I'm going to continue to say it, that I have the opportunity to say what I want. Whether you agree, disagree, don't listen to it, whatever the hell. Know that I appreciate the opportunity to say what I got to say. Bigger, better things are coming 2018. I'm like Cameron. I really mean it. I really mean it. I really mean it. Just Dipset. I mean Team GRF. Team URS. We's in the building. You don't believe me? You'll see soon. Go ahead. Go to recess. Y'all ain't done with me. depending on what the situation gonna be, y'all be seeing me soon on something. So just keep tuned to your YouTubes and whatnot. But yeah, go get up out of here. Get them lab coats and them cubby holes. Make sure you're nice and sterile. Go enjoy lunch and recess. Just don't hurt yourselves out there. Stay away from the L experiments. We are still working on those. With that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. It's the one and the only Professor L, live in the LAB, live on Team GRF TV. And I'd like to thank all of you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And always, please remember, Team GRF, the one and the only Triple the G.O.D., and them boys over there on Kamen Rider Build, the fellas and ladies, of course, let's give it up. Triple the G.O.D., Kamen Rider Build. Yo, you can put those in two full balls and slap those. Slap those. Where do you slap those? Oh, wait, I remember in a build driver. And you know what it's going to say? Best match.